So, lads, there is a WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, like, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark.
This is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs.
The most unexpected player chase in WNBA history is about to take place. The player who made women's basketball a must-watch sport on television, Caitlin Clark, is currently coping with yet another catastrophic injury setback. And you know who's waiting to attack from the shadows? Surprisingly, the defending champion New York Liberty are valued at a record $450 million.
So we're going to talk about this little scene that took place after the Fever game last night in New York between Sandy Brondello and Caitlin Clark, the New York Liberty, and
I'll show you a vision that will keep Stephanie awake at night. Caitlin Clark suffered a terrible injury to her right groin a few days ago in the closing minute of Indiana's victory over Connecticut.
To the end of the court, you can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying. And I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what.
In response, White said that she was crying on the bench and that there was a tiny object in her groin.
Clark looked like she got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin there.
Just a little. But at this point, everything turns completely nuclear. Clark was not allowed to play in the much-anticipated game against the New York Liberty on Wednesday night. For New York's grand plan, the time is ideal. During Clark's incapacitation, Music was unable to even reach Brooklyn. The Liberty defeated Indiana 98-77 thanks to a fantastic clinic. Music, with 24 points and 11 rebounds, Breanna Stewart demonstrated to Clark what championship-caliber support looks like. Clark's startling choice during the All-Star selection is the most damning proof of this Liberty recruitment drive. Through a trade, Sandy Brondello, the New York Liberty's head coach, joined her team. Not just any coach, mind you, but the driving force behind the Liberty's winning streak.
Completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Bee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules. But we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So, therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Bee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking.
Brondello's response. She described them as amazing people who are not just involved in basketball politics. That's how Clark expresses her want to see what actual coaching is like.
We have just seen the New York Liberty players after the game meeting up with Caitlin Clark. It is Stewie. It is Sabrina Ionescu. There is Sandy Brondello. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 99% sure of. The Stewie.
On social media, Liberty supporters are already going crazy, nearly begging Clark to demand a trade to New York. They witness what we do, a coaching staff that grossly mismanages a generational talent by treating her like a disposable. The Liberty subreddit is full of such situations, and every Liberty fan is working to make this motion a reality.
Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is.
Let's discuss the most tragic aspect of the whole story. Because her body is suffering under Indiana's care, Clark has abruptly withdrawn from All-Star Weekend, the biggest celebration of the season and the occasion that was meant to highlight her incredible talents. On social media, she stated that she needed a vacation. She should go to bed. It had been 15 years since she last served. She is 23 years old. When you look at Clark's injury history during White's tenure, the trend becomes evident. It's not just bad luck. The most valuable player in the league is being routinely mismanaged. Music. Clark has missed several games this season due to a slew of ailments, and White's response has consistently been tone-deaf and arrogant.
We're in good spirits. Had a lot of setbacks with all these little injuries, and we just have to take it one day at a time. It's frustrating for her, I'm sure.
The most important clue of all is that during the entire season, Clark has been expressing fury through his body language. When she entered the WNBA, she had that unique Iowa confidence and unflinching faith in her abilities. However, it's evident that months of dubious coaching choices, regular injuries, and a system that doesn't play to her abilities have taken their toll. After her most recent mishap, we noticed an emotional collapse that went beyond just physical agony. It was the culmination of a player's frustration over her greatest years being squandered. Liberty's CEO, Kaya Clark, has been vocal about her impact on the league's overall growth. She acknowledged that Clark lit a fire after entering the WNBA. In contrast, Indiana's strategy appears to be more concerned in integrating Clark into their system than with making use of her generational abilities. Sandy Brondello adjusts her strategies to maximize Sabrina Ionescu's playmaking and Breanna Stewart's flexibility. She refrains from inserting square pegs into round holes. She makes round-holed square pegs. Clark got a taste of championship-level coaching during the All-Star selection process. The most startling revelation in all of this is that Liberty players and coaching staff have reportedly communicated with Clark's camp. When agents start interacting with other organizations, it goes beyond ordinary cordial networking. That's business. These conversations don't happen until there is sincere curiosity on both sides. Clark's contract position gives her options. She will have the opportunity to try out different situations because her WNBA career is still in its early phases. In the in-court production, the Liberty are doing more than just acting for her. They are attempting to convince her that the company has a culture of successful professional management and treats superstars like superstars. The injury's timing is perfect for the Liberty's recruiting efforts. She is surrounded by Liberty highlights, but Clark sits in Indianapolis with ongoing groin issues and watches her dreams of being an all-star vanish. Music. Stewart managing the paint, Ionescu creating crucial shots, and Brondello making amazing adjustments. All the public relations that her present situation lacks. White's handling of Clark's injury schedule has been utterly disastrous.
So, did she have imaging today? Was it just see how she's feeling? And I know you have a game tonight first, but is there any discussion yet about this weekend with her? Because obviously she's a huge part of All-Star.
No discussion yet about this weekend. There was imaging done, and obviously ruling her out for tonight. But there hasn't been any discussion beyond.
Her evasive comments about Clark's lack of practice intensity and her lack of clarity regarding recovery plans give the appearance that the coaching staff has no control over their star players' physical condition. Compare that to championship teams whose entire medical and training departments are focused on keeping their players healthy. The most harmful aspect of the entire situation is the decline of trust between Clark and the Indiana organization. When your franchise player has long-term illnesses and your coach publicly minimizes the problem, the foundation of a productive partnership is lost. White's tone-deaf comments have been eroding trust throughout the season. Trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy. There are significant financial repercussions to this potential action. The Liberty's championship history, Clark's marketability, and the New York media market would combine to create a revenue juggernaut unlike anything the WNBA has ever seen. Crowded venues, national television ratings, and item sales that would exceed current numbers are all possible outcomes. Think about the basketball fit for a moment. The most dynamic three in WNBA history would consist of Ionescu's clutch gene, Stewart's versatile scoring, and Clark's transition playmaking. Brondello's approach focuses on the movement of players and the ball. This kind of environment would be ideal for Clark's passing ability and court vision. The most heartbreaking part of witnessing Clark's situation in Indiana is seeing hints of her potential in the right environment. When she's healthy and the offense makes advantage of her judgment, she produces highlight reels and stat lines that demonstrate why she was the most anticipated rookie in league history. But the frequency of those events has decreased under White's direction. It seems that your coach doesn't understand the fundamentals of leadership. As promised by her ESPN Stephanie White, publicly commend while privately condemning. Members of Hatton never compliment Caitlin Clark. I hope Caitlin recovers from her illness and joins another team. Supporters of Liberty have more in mind than this particular action. With the dedication of general managers, they are looking for it. They are looking at trade scenarios, contract issues, and the implications of pay caps. The controversy over a potential on social media. Clark's move to New York has been so intense that it is on par with major NBA transactions. Stephanie White's coaching philosophy has been made clear throughout the entire narrative. Stephanie White's response to Caitlin Clark is somewhat strange. By the way, this doesn't just happen. It displays a basic lack of championship-level team building that she asks Clark to adjust to increased physicality instead of changing her system to protect her greatest player. Great instructors don't ask superstars to change. They adapt to their famous people. The organizational cultures of Indiana and New York are the most dissimilar. The Liberty organization operates as a franchise. Excellent training facilities, knowledgeable medical staff, and a front desk that makes decisions based on maximizing its stars' potential. Indiana's approach has been reactive, disrespectful, and ultimately unsuccessful. Stephanie White should be afraid of this nuclear option though. What would happen if Clark's team started demanding a trade? Even while the WNBA has seen some significant agreements in the past, nothing has ever compared to Clark's signing with Liberty. It would instantly result in a super team that would dominate the media and maybe tip the balance of power in the league. The medical care aspect of this situation cannot be disregarded. Given that Clark sustained multiple groin injuries while being supervised by Indiana, there are serious issues regarding their training and recovery protocols. Music. Unless there are underlying issues with workload management, preparation, or treatment, professional athletes shouldn't be dealing with recurrent injuries to the same area at this level. Music. Indiana just cannot match the Liberty's legitimacy due to their championship past. When Brondello talks about player development, she is speaking from personal experience.